Welcome back to English Edition. My name is Nicole King and it's a pleasure to be here at Radio Televisión Marbella to catch you up on some of the things our town hall has been up to over the last week. We will then be welcoming some international residents who've got some very cool things going on. So it's going to be a very interesting programme and very informative. Let's start off with that news. Starting off with not even the storm could stop the carnival. It's true that some outdoor events had to be cancelled last weekend, but the opening address, the moment that officially launches the festivities, did go ahead. José Antonio Ortiz, known as El Pirata, had the honour of guiding us into the most light-hearted celebration of the year. There's no turning back now. After so much dedication and preparation, Carnival can be finally enjoyed together across numerous events and out on the streets with the public. Both Carnival fans and the Department of Festivities celebrated a hugely successful opening night. José Antonio Ortiz, El Pirata, as he is popularly known, received a great deal of affection from the audience as he delivered the opening address for a festival he loves and one that has been passed down through generations.
Para mí es lo más grande que se le puede dar a un carnavalero, y más a mí que vengo de abuelo carnavalero y de padre carnavalero, pues imagínate, ¿no? O para mi abuelo que va, que está ahí arriba.
The exhibition centre El Palacio de Congresos also hosted a night that Marco Antonio Hill will remember with pride. He was awarded the Golden Shield by the Carnival Cultural Association in recognition of his career and contribution to the development of the festivities.
Maravilloso, y el empiece de muchos días en la calle, de pasarlo bien, de que todo el mundo saque su disfraz.
Sí, muy especial, muchos eventos, muchos trajecitos que estrenar, todo muy bonito.
Que me sirve para despejarme un poco y pasarme un rato bien con los amigos.
Alongside the Carnival Venus, the nymphs, Scarlett Cabrera and Yasmin Bega, also took part in the evening, together with Miguel Lopez in the role of King Momo. All in all, it was a major occasion for Carnival supporters, marking their first celebration 40 years ago. This year's event featured music and performances from local groups, including the comparsas Al Sur del Sur and El Desvelo, as well as the chirigota Los Graduados.
Tenemos un nivel bastante bueno, bastante alto. Entonces ahora a partir de que pase ya el carnaval ya van actuando por todos los sitios, lo solicitan en muchos sitios, muchos puntos de la provincia y de fuera de la provincia, ¿no? Porque la calidad que tienen.
Desde septiembre, todas las noches ensayando, preparando letras, preparando disfraz, pero al final a nosotros nos gusta.
To close the evening, the audience enjoyed a performance by the Cádiz Chirigota, led by José Antonio Molina and El Meyi, titled Los que la tienen de mármol. The opening speaker also moved the audience with his tribute to Marbella. The Plaza de Toros neighbourhood now has its own chapel. It opened this past weekend and is dedicated to Our Lady of Love, La Señora del Amor. It marks the culmination of a long process involving the collaboration of many people. Management of the chapel will be overseen by the Our Lady of Love Youth Association. A dream come true. That's how residents of the Plaza de Toros neighbourhood are describing it. After many years of waiting and campaigning, they have finally inaugurated the Chapel of Our Lady of Love. Parish priest David Morales led the opening ceremony and blessed the new place of worship.
Nosotros desde el colectivo llevamos muchos años pidiendo la realización de una capilla porque los colectivos juveniles del barrio así no lo demandaba. Hoy en día ya es una realidad y estamos muy contentos de que hoy va a hacer su bendición y va a ser un punto de encuentro para estos vecinos religiosos de nuestra barriada.
Que es el único barrio de Marbella junto con la Patera que no tenía nada y ya van a tener un sitio para poder rezar y acogerse para la Virgen.
Young Ilan Torre has been the driving force behind the project, which was carried out by the town hall. What was once an unused kiosk has been transformed into a chapel, complete with wrought iron doors and special lighting that highlights the image of the Virgin.
Aunque no estaba en culto público, aunque sí estuvo en la Divina Pastora con el Padre David y ahí estuvo unos meses, pero realmente era una Virgen que es de culto privado y que estaba en la vivienda de Ilán en este caso, y son muchísimos los vecinos y las vecinas que algunos casi a diario iban a pedirle a verla, por lo cual no es una Virgen ni una imagen que sea nueva para este barrio de Plaza de Toros. La diferencia era que va a estar en un lugar visible para todos, para poder visitarle, para rezarle.
Many local residents attended the chapel's inauguration. The facility will now be managed by the Our Lady of Love Youth Association. The local government board has approved the urban development project for El Pinar area, a 35-hectare site that will make way for a wide range of facilities. Among them is the long-awaited green light for the construction of the Four Seasons Hotel. Plans also include the development of up to 2,000 homes. The town hall has given the go-ahead to the urban development of 1.5 million square metres in the Las Chapas area, a strategic project with a strong focus on residential, tourism and hotel use. The local government board has approved the proposal defining the development boundaries for Arroyo Sequillo, land linked primarily to an investor family, alongside other property owners. It marks the first decisive step in transforming the entire area.
Va a llevar unas 2.000 viviendas, estamos viendo la horquilla, dependiendo de la edificabilidad, que estará en torno a un 0,3%, pero que va a suponer un desarrollo también de un 40% de vivienda pública, y está suponiendo también que tengamos 300.000 metros cuadrados de sistemas generales de áreas libres, con lo que eso conlleva en cuanto a parques y jardines, equipamientos, viarios.
The board has also approved another key step forward, the construction of the Four Seasons Hotel, giving the green light to the urbanisation project for the El Pinar zone. The plan will now be submitted to higher administrations to obtain the necessary sector reports. The Mayor says exhaustive technical work has already been carried out, so these approvals are expected within a short time frame. The developer will invest more than €9 million in an ambitious scheme that includes acoustic screening along both sides of the motorway, the construction of a new pedestrian footbridge and an underpass connecting the northern and southern areas.
También el proyecto, como les decía, de una nueva vía de servicio, con lo cual se reordenan todos los accesos del margen derecho, se ejecuta un vial que va a conectar la salida existente con el cambio de sentido. Tenemos también una ejecución de una de las rotondas y el acondicionamiento también de una calle, de la calle de los Naranjos, que es limítrofe al desarrollo del sector.
With the heavy rain now hopefully over, the Department of Works is hoping to push ahead with refurbishment works at Santa Teresa School. The project, with an investment of almost €100,000, is focusing mainly on the exterior facade, where painting and waterproofing are being carried out. That said, improvements are also underway inside the building. Refurbishment works at Santa Teresa School began around 3 weeks ago, but the succession of recent storms forced crews to pause facade cleaning, waterproofing and painting. Now that conditions have improved, work has resumed. The Department of Works is acting across some 4,000 square metres, first removing deteriorated material before applying the new waterproofing treatment.
Hace aproximadamente unos 15 años que se pintó, el colegio ya estaba desgastado por el sol, por las inclemencias meteorológicas, también por el daño que hizo la calima hace algunos años, y el colegio necesitaba una capa de impermeabilización y una capa de pintura.
The project, with an investment close to €100,000, is being carried out without disrupting day-to-day school activity. As well as the exterior facade, the works are being used as an opportunity to improve several interior areas also.
Estamos haciendo actuaciones arreglando azulejos en los cuartos de baño y en algunos pasillos, se está arreglando también haciendo cambios de luminaria en torno a 100 luminarias y se están haciendo acciones muy importantes también de cerrajería.
The works are expected to be completed within the next 3 to 4 weeks. The project forms part of the Educational Facilities Maintenance Plan, which since last October has delivered 142 improvements across schools in Marbella. It is now official. The 84 publicly funded homes being built in San Pedro de Alcántara have been allocated. With just over a year to go before construction is completed, those successful in the draw can now begin building their life project. The Mayor says this fulfills the commitment to provide alternatives for those who need them most. If the draw at the beginning of January was a day marked by nerves and uncertainty, this latest milestone has confirmed that the long-awaited project is now one step closer. We are referring to the 84 people who were selected as beneficiaries of the publicly protected housing development promoted by the Town Hall for San Pedro Alcántara. This second stage has been the formal signing of the allocation contracts.
Mira, lo más difícil ya lo han hecho, que es que le toque. Ahora es lo más tedioso, que es el trabajo con los bancos. Pero bueno, eso lo tendrán que hacer a través de la propia promotora, de sus entidades financieras. También la promotora tiene un banco en el que se pueden subrogar. O sea, ahora viene una parte más burocrática que dependerá de ellos. Es un mes hasta que puedan formalizar ese contrato y a partir de ahí, pues que lo formalicen ya con la escritura cuando se hayan terminado las viviendas.
The public housing development, located in the southern area of San Pedro, is now around 20% into its construction phase. The complex will include landscape communal areas and a swimming pool, as well as a private parking space and storage rooms. Prices range between €150,000 and €260,000, from which beneficiaries will deduct a €15,000 grant provided by the Town Hall and the regional government.
A ver, es que viendo los precios que hay en Marbella y que es imposible, o sea, con esto ya es como una ayuda, más la ayuda que te dan, o sea, súper guay, súper contenta.
Puedes emanciparte, puedes tener ya una vida un poco más suelta, porque no es lo mismo pagar un alquiler que una hipoteca, que ya es algo para ti.
Y la verdad que sí, es muy importante para nosotros, que no podemos acceder a una vivienda.
The homes promoted by the Town Hall, in collaboration with the Vimpica Foundation, are scheduled for completion by the middle of next year.
En un sitio único como es en San Pedro, al lado del bulevar, en la zona sur, donde además el entorno triplica el precio.
Sí, la verdad que me gusta, porque no estás tanto en el centro, pero tampoco estás tanto a las afueras, entonces andando puedes llegar a todos lados.
Está en un sitio súper bueno, cerca de la playa, cerca del bulevar.
Ha sido una vivienda de movilidad reducida. Realmente la hemos echado con mi marido, lo que pasa es que él no ha podido estar aquí hasta un rato y se ha ido, pero ha sido una vivienda de movilidad reducida que la verdad que pues adaptada y es mucho más cómodo para nosotros, una planta baja.
Due to the antiquity of the housing developments in Divina Pastora and Santa Marta, they will now be able to access funding to improve living conditions, thanks to grants provided by the Andalusian regional government. These aim to upgrade accessibility through measures such as the installation of lifts, ramps and video entry systems. 6 residence communities in Divina Pastora and Santa Marta have been selected as beneficiaries of the subsidiary programme launched by the Andalusian government to improve accessibility in residential buildings. At the Marbella East District headquarters, the provincial delegate for housing from the Andalusian government and the mayor met with community presidents and property administrators to outline application deadlines and procedures for these grants, which will help enhance residents' quality of life.
Son 6 comunidades de propietarios, más de 600.000 euros, en este caso 632.000 euros, y nos queremos reunir con ellos pues para explicarles temas de plazo, temas de ejecución, también los plazos por si necesitan pedir una prórroga.
At least one of the communities has already begun work. Projects include the possible installation of lifts, stair lifts and ramps, accessible communication systems, video entry phones and home automation tools designed to improve accessibility. According to the Mayor, this funding line represents further progress in the Town Hall's ongoing efforts to remove architectural barriers.
Para acometer obras de accesibilidad, que permitan a esas comunidades de propietarios el tener una vida más fácil, el instalar rampas, el instalar ascensores, en mejorar las condiciones de movilidad de los propios vecinos y que además complementan el trabajo que ya lleva haciendo el ayuntamiento, precisamente eliminando esas barreras arquitectónicas.
These grants are in addition to a new funding call already launched by the Andalusian government, also focused on accessibility, as well as other subsidy programme for building refurbishment, which will include several communities in Marbella. The full renovation of water and road infrastructure in the Costa Bella residential area has now been completed. Around 300 families will benefit from the works, which have come at a cost of no less than €5 million. The project brings an end to long-standing shortcomings in such a basic service as that of water supply. For more than a decade, the Costa Bella urbanisation in eastern Marbella has been affected by the lack of a separate drinking water and sewage network, outdated fibre cement piping and the continued use of septic tanks. Following the signing of an agreement between the Town Hall, Acosol and the residents' community, a major project was set in motion. Its aim was to provide the entire area, with more than 300 homes affected, with a modern supply network, bringing an end to numerous problems linked to the provision of drinking water.
El objetivo era hacer un cambio radical de todo, un antes y un después de todo lo que era la urbanización el proyecto de urbanización de esta propia zona de Marbella. Había que cambiar saneamientos, había que eliminar fosas sépticas, había que poner todo el tema del abastecimiento nuevo, hacer nuevas todas las calles porque había que abrir todas las calles de la urbanización y en este sentido decir el apoyo que siempre hemos mantenido dentro del ámbito privado.
This public-private partnership also extended to the financing of the works, valued at around €5 million. The Town Hall covered 50% of the cost, Acosol contributed 25%, and the remaining 25% was funded by the residents' community.
Se han extendido durante todo este tiempo 7,6 kilómetros de redes de alcantarillado nueva dentro de esta urbanización y prácticamente 5 kilómetros de abastecimiento.
The works have concluded with the resurfacing and overall improvement of road surfaces throughout the entire residential area.
Esto se ha conseguido después de más de 10 años de trabajo, por parte, colaboración de todos, pero ha habido que hacer un seguimiento muy grande por parte de la comunidad para, perseguir un poco a todas las instancias que han estado envueltas en esto. Y lo hemos conseguido hacer 2 obras, tanto el saneamiento y el agua como todo el tema de las telecomunicaciones también.
This project follows similar interventions already carried out in Hacienda Las Chapas and El Rosario, and precedes 2 further schemes set to begin shortly in the Ricmar urbanisation and in Valle del Sol in San Pedro. Together, they pave the way for the granting of development licence across these areas. And another important infrastructure project. This one will allow Calle Chorreadero to reopen, a road widely used as a shortcut between the Virgen del Carmen Cemetery and the Miraflores neighbourhood. An unstable embankment has been threatening the roadway and the Town Hall has stepped in to secure the hillside. The works are expected to be completed in less than 2 weeks. In around 10 days, weather permitting, works on Calle Chorreadero are expected to be finished. That is the time frame being considered by the Department of Works, which has allocated a municipal investment of €150,000 to guarantee the safety and stability of the embankment. The intervention covers 2 distinct sections, one rocky and the other earth-based.
Una primera fase se ha colocado una malla geotextil con partículas de coco que hace que la tierra se integre en la malla y al mismo tiempo se cree una capa de vegetación que al mismo tiempo contiene las tierras y luego otra de simple torsión reforzada, que esta malla lo que hace es contener cualquier tipo de piedra de un tamaño pequeño y medio que pueda llegar a caer y evitar que pueda haber algún tipo de peligro.
The project, being carried out by a specialist high access company, extends across an area of 2,500 square metres. While works continue, the road will remain closed to traffic in order to prevent landslides onto the carriageway and to protect users of what is a busy route linking the Ojen Road with the area around the former Don Miguel Hotel.
como son el deterioro de la calzada por parte de las correntías de agua y que hace que la carretera de alguna manera se pueda ver afectada, se pueda quedar vacía por la parte interior y de esa manera pues se va a completar también con algunas tabicas de hormigón para asegurarla.
The Department of Works is asking the public to respect the installed signage and to avoid accessing the area until the works are fully completed and the town hall proceeds with its reopening. The pay gap between men and women continues to narrow, but it still exists. In Andalusia, it stands at close to 13%. On the 22nd of February, Equal Pay Day is observed, and Marbella has announced a series of awareness-raising and commemorative activities. In addition, a new employment portal specifically aimed at women will be launched. The Department for Equality will mark Equal Pay Day with a programme of training and awareness activities beginning on the 19th of February. It will also introduce a new initiative, the launch of a dedicated employment portal for women.
Se va a gestionar desde la Delegación de Igualdad y se trata de una herramienta de intermediación laboral que conecta a las mujeres que ya se encuentran en ese itinerario personalizado que se desarrolla desde el Departamento de Orientación Laboral con empresas comprometidas, facilitando el acceso de empleo digno.
According to official data, the gender pay gap in Spain stands at 15.74%, based on figures from the National Statistics Institute, while in Marbella it is 12.84%, according to the Andalusian Institute of Statistics. These figures show that there is still considerable progress to be made before true equality is achieved. The Councillor for Equality stressed that the Town Hall already runs programmes designed to promote women's access to the labour market. One example is the Interlaboral programme, which has been running since February 2025 and, according to the department, has delivered positive results.
Es que se han conseguido 70 inserciones laborales de mujeres relacionadas en su mayoría con el sector servicios, la hostelería, el comercio y administración. Y un dato importante para nosotras y que nos invita a seguir trabajando en esa línea es que esa inserción se ha incrementado en un 15% con respecto al año anterior.
Another initiative, the Oasis programme, also offered through the Equality Department, is producing encouraging results. Of the 275 working-age people currently supported under the scheme, 193 are women.
143 personas ya han logrado la incorporación al mercado laboral, siendo de ese total el 70% mujeres, lo que supone el 52% del total de los participantes.
In the lead up to the Equal Pay Day on the 22nd of February, the Town Hall has designed a programme aimed at improving women's access to employment and promoting shared responsibility and work-life balance in professional, personal and family life. The Town Hall continues to upgrade its equipment whilst also making better use of its resources. To that end, it has purchased 55 state-of-the-art blowers and strimmers, and a further 55 tools will be added within the next 3 months. The aim is to ensure that staff have the best possible equipment, enabling them to cover a larger area in less time. Upgrading street cleaning and solid waste equipment has been a key objective for the Town Hall. Not only does it intend to maintain this momentum, but it is also committed to optimising existing resources. The goal is to provide staff with the best tools available so they can cover the widest possible area, which, according to the councillor responsible, results in a cleaner city overall. A total of 55 blowers and strimmers have already been acquired, with a further 55 due to be incorporated within 3 months.
Hay un número importante que son de bajo nivel sonoro y eléctrica, otro que son además de bajo nivel sonoro y son de gasolina. Ambas son máquinas de última generación, son 55 las que tenemos aquí hoy, pero en los próximos 3 meses se suman a los equipos otras 55 más. La idea es repartirla en todas las viarias, desde San Pedro a La Chapa, y que todos los equipos de viaria y que todos los equipos que salen luego desde las naves más importantes, donde salen los equipos operativos, tengan todo este equipamiento para poder trabajar de una manera más cómoda.
These are not only state-of-the-art tools, but also lightweight models designed to make the work easier, more comfortable and more efficient for staff.
Con eso garantizamos pues, que el esfuerzo del operario sea mínimo a la hora de avanzar más y que los tiempos de descanso por el peso que llevan en las manos sea mínimo también, para conseguir avanzar mucho más. Yo creo que se ha hecho además contando con los equipos municipales, con los encargados, con los mismos operarios que han opinado qué tipo de maquinaria era la que más les beneficiaba, y yo creo que eso hace muchísimo, ¿no? El contar siempre con los trabajadores hace pues que el trabajo luego sea mucho más fructífero.
The Councillor for Cleaning has also stressed that, alongside efforts to improve the service, public cooperation remains essential in order to keep the city in the best possible condition. In my experience, Lilia Director is superb when it comes to insurance, particularly for expats. I have met the dedicated English-speaking team that answers our phone calls. Real people with real families who take pride in providing the best service. Whether it's for home insurance, car, motorbike, they will ensure you get the policy best suited to you. They've also got new policies, especially for our pets and anti-squatter. Everything is in English, everyone is friendly, and everyone is truly doing their best for us. Call 952 14 78 34 or go to their website liniadirector.com for further details.
Zero Hero, welcome to Exotica. Zero Hero, welcome to Exotica.
Zero Heroes, welcome to Urban Chai.
Zero Hero, welcome to Hard Rock Hotel Marbella.
Our first guest of this afternoon is the lovely Caradas of the Care Fairies. Cara, you look amazing as always. How lovely to see you again.
Thank you, my love.
I almost forgot what you look like. I can't believe how long it's been.
Do you know what? I think since I've sort of really immersed myself into this industry, you don't get a minute to yourself anymore. You know, you're on 24-hour call constantly, and with everything else that's been happening recently for the Caradas, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Caradas, the Care Fairies, basically took flight during lockdown, and you were feeding hundreds of people, and you've been up doing Christmas, saving people and presents for decades.
Yeah.
You're a very caring person, and you've taken a big change in life a few years ago because now you're doing home care and concentrating on the elderly. Your whole life has changed 360 degrees.
Yeah.
Or 180 probably is more correct, because you were like doing events and parties and hostessing in different restaurants.
Thank Jesus that's over.
Isn't it like such a big turnaround, and yet your heart is still so big, but now you're fully immersed in it. How are you coping? I mean, it's a lot of pressure. You get to learn a lot of horror stories, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, working with orphanages and domestic violence and things, you see so much, and it's been, as you say, nearly 2 decades of that. But when you're working daily with people dying, it's hard. You know, I'm the medical assistant, so I'm the one that's there when they're passing and so on, and it's difficult. But to be honest with you, there's so much beauty in that as well, and I love to be the one that can care for them at the end. I love to be the one that can be there for the family. But what I'm finding the most difficult out of everything is, as you know, there's a real problem here for the elderly. And it's really the abuse of power that the care homes and the treatment of the elderly in the care homes that gets me more than anything else. And I just, you know, for anybody that's got a family member or someone they can't cope, I just really urge them to get in contact with us so that we can come and do a completely free assessment for them and really weigh out their options, because I don't think people are aware of what options are out there for them. And when the pressure really comes on, they think the best thing for their family member is to put them into one of these residence homes, and it's not. It's really not.
I think one would think that if you put someone into a care home, they're getting the care that you cannot give them at home.
Yeah.
But they're no longer at home. They're in an institution, which is very different than finishing your days as one would want in your own home, which is where your agency comes in.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even this, to be honest with you, Nicole. You know, you and I know ourselves. It's about really relying on someone and putting your 100% trust. And if there's one thing I've learned from being in this industry and seeing the things that I've seen, is that there is a real abuse of power and an abuse of trust in these care homes. And for anybody that does do it, please visit your family member, because the ones that don't get visits, believe me, there is a very different treatment with them.
Ronnie, you and I were talking so often about how much it costs to be in a care home. I mean, you're looking at a minimum, what?
About $3 grand, going up to about $5.5.
Basic, without medications, therapies, treatments. And it really makes sense to me to put people together in a private home and share the cost of a carer and a nurse.
Or have 24-hour living. I have a 24-hour living carer that's there all of the time, noticing every step of your loved one's changes, working with them. You know, our specialists know what medications to give. They know when someone looks like they're changing or getting worse, whatever. Always 24-hour, having someone with your family member 24 hours is going to be better than any care home, regardless of where it is. And I think people just need to be aware and not be scared, you know. Even if there's a lot of people out there that don't have any money at all, and we've been assisting many families with giving them carers.
Because you also have the charity aspect of care farers.
Yeah, exactly, this is it. And there's so many options out there, but if you speak to care homes, residence homes, they'll really narrow that down for you. So call us, we do a completely free assessment for you, and we'll point you in the right directions for charities and things that can really help.
Because that's important too. The local town halls frequently offer a lot of support, but if we don't understand the language, that can make it difficult. So it really is, there is a lot out there, it's just getting a grip of it. And that's why United Nationalities Summit last year, we held it early because we were so worried about the situation with elderly, people who aren't being cared for in care homes, those who are home without care, but also, for example, I know when you're looking for volunteers, people could need help, maybe just having meals made for them, popping 100%. In for a conversation because they can't get out.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed how large the number is here of elderly and people that are getting into this bracket now. It's a real strain on the system here. You're looking at a 2-year wait to see a neurologist just to be diagnosed with dementia. And that's a long road, you know, it's a very long road when someone is going through the motions of what and the behaviours that dementia displays. It's very difficult, very difficult. Having a support network and speaking to the correct people, finding out what's out there, it's really important. Age Concern do a great job, but they're all very much, it's not a...
And they're all volunteers.
They're volunteers.
These are volunteers, and
you need to
have limits.
You need to have geriatric specialists like what we are, what we do, where we can actually come. And, you know, it's not always the case that we can help you, but it's actually pointing you in the direction because, you know, the British Consulate have been great. They give out our number and we've been able to help many people through them. But I know there are, even going to the pharmacy the other day just to get an elderly person medication, I ended up speaking to a lovely lady whose mum was at home dying of brain cancer with her 3 little children because she couldn't afford care. And just because she spoke to me about that while she was working, we can manage to help her. There's a lot of people out there like her that need our help.
A lot of it comes down to communication.
Yeah.
I think elderly particularly are very loath to ask for help, and we don't know that help's available.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of times age concern have mentioned to me, like, how do we get people to ask for help? I know myself, I'm in that age concern age bracket. After 55, you're kind of considered that you're eligible. But I could be sick at home, and I was too sick to go and get medicine. It would never occur to me to ring and bother somebody else.
Well, you was in the situation with your friend, wasn't you, in the hospital as well? There's many people that are in the hospital that don't have somebody to be with them, and, you know, through the association, no, we can't offer you someone that's going to be with you for months on end. That's not a possibility. But we can certainly get someone who's going to come and maybe change the diaper of your loved one whilst you're working, or, you know, really try and just ease the burden somewhat for you. We have elderly people that are on the waiting list to go into state homes, and again, it's a very long waiting list, and they're struggling. We try and ease the burden there as well. So, you know,
unfortunately, being an international community that don't speak often Spanish, when you do get these opportunities to go into a state home, they maybe don't want to go because they can't speak the language. There's a lot of difficulties we bring upon ourselves that need to be ironed out.
And there's so many elderly here that are completely alone. I mean, it's shocking. Sometimes, well, very often in a week, I'll get so many calls, and I mean, they have nobody. They don't speak Spanish still. A lot of them, they've been here 40 odd years. They've got no network
the worst.
of people.
The ones of us that have been here a long time.
I know.
They're the worst.
But there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
Lack of communication, I think, will also fits in appropriately with our next topic, the domestic violence.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, we lost the beautiful Victoria Hart to domestic violence.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in this instance, she had spoken to everybody.
Yes.
She did have everything in place.
Everything in place.
Except perhaps something I can relate to when the, I can think in Spanish, the orden de alejamiento, when you have that decree that someone can't come near you.
She had that.
She had that. But I believe when he broke it, because she didn't want her children's father to go to prison, maybe she didn't report it.
She'd been reporting and reporting and reporting. The problem was, this is in a small place, Alorin, you know, and I just want to start by saying the Spanish have been, you know, Sue, her mother, has said the Spanish have been unbelievably
Our
supportive.
deepest sympathies, really. I mean, there are no words to express what this family must be going through.
And the funny thing is, I remember when Victoria first got with him, this is maybe 17 years ago, and she was so in love, you know, starry-eyed young girl, and the family never liked him. They always felt there was something wrong. But, you know, us women, you know, when we fall in love, we just... But either way, she had been calling the police. They didn't come. And the problem with it in these sort of places is he's playing football with them and sports at the weekend, you know? This is the issue.
It's very hard to people to appreciate, really, what's going on in people's minds. So obviously it doesn't matter how much one does, obviously you can't solve everything, and situations like Victoria,
this must never happen
come
again.
about. But how can we stop it? And I think that's an issue in the sense of, I think a lot more people go through abuse behind closed doors.
They do, yeah.
I think a lot of times the happiest people, the couples that look the most picturesque, are potentially the ones that, you know, like it's really not all so golden.
Everyone hides something. We all remember having relationships that, you know, you made it out to be something it wasn't, or you put on a brave face for something, and then, you know, we've all been there, I think, in some level, but certainly not to obviously the level that Victoria was. Going forward, I think what we have to remember as well is that 3 domestic violence charities have closed over the last 5 years. I don't know anyone. I've been in contact with every charity that I know, and
I think Sir Optimist is possibly one of the few, and they have 2 people who are there to answer calls and things.
The problem, what we don't have, is we do not have meet-up points, and it's always difficult with somebody who's suffering domestic violence, but certainly after, even once you get out, you do need a support system. So the Heart Project, which is what we're starting, is where we're going to have domestic violence meetings that if you're going through something, or your friend's going through something, or you've come out of something, it's somewhere where you can go weekly. There'll be a meeting. The minutes to the meeting will be typed up and signed off from the charity so that it'll be able to be used in court. You know, should this go to court at some point, but more so that you can get real help. You'll get a sponsor, just as you do as in AA. So if it's happening, you're going through domestic violence at that moment, or you're scared something's going to happen, you call your sponsor comes. We're going to be giving emergency hostels, emergency packages, which is clothes for the children, food,
because a lot of the chances having nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
No resources
when it happens,
to get there.
When it happens, or they know it's coming, there's nowhere to go, there's no one to call. There is going to be now. Anybody who calls up and needs to get out there and then, we will provide a way to do that with, support for the following days, weeks, or months, whatever it takes.
Well, 100% support for the initiative, and this year's United Nationalities of Marbella Summit is going to concentrate on this. We will tie up the few bits for the elderly to give that information across, but it's the same social services person at a town hall frequently, and we will take that moment to get the services that exist and then see how we can build on those and provide solutions for people who do need to get away.
And never forgetting her name. You know, the Heart Project is something that I want to continue way into the future, so that her beautiful face is never forgotten. And for her children, you know, she left behind 3 beautiful little kids, which her sister Gemma and her husband are raising. They're a really wonderful family, and I think it's very important that we never forget her. They're doing walks for her constantly as well, so if people go on to Facebook.
And there was a GoFundMe as well that I know that I
done particularly well, but I just want to say with this GoFundMe, when people see that there are events to raise money, the GoFundMe cannot be released for at least 12 months because Gemma, the sister, needs to have the correct paperwork to say that she's got the children in her care. So that money.
In the meanwhile, we need to get funds coming in.
There's other funds coming. They're going to be doing fundraising, and please support it because, you know, it's difficult. We all know the price of food, electricity, everything's gone up. And the families, you know, with everything else they're going through, they really shouldn't be going through the financial burden as well.
It really is. It's our, again, our deepest sympathies. Really sorry for everyone, friends, family. But Victoria will never be forgotten, and we will do our best to help that no other woman ever, or men, has to go through the abuse by somebody else. Cara, thank you, darling.
Thank you for having me.
In my experience, Lilia Director is superb when it comes to insurance, particularly for expats. I have met the dedicated English-speaking team that answers our phone calls. Real people with real families who take pride in providing the best service. Whether it's for home insurance, car, motorbike, they will ensure you get the policy best suited to you. They've also got new policies, especially for our pets and anti-squatter. Everything is in English, everyone is friendly, and everyone is truly doing their best for us. Call 952 14 78 34 or go to their website liniadirector.com for further details. CIT Marbella is a business networking association, and for over a decade every week I get to meet a new member of the team. However, this week it's not a new member of the team because the Fonda Heritage Hotel is here at the studios, and not just here, it's Raimonda in charge of events. You put on some lovely events, Raimonda. Lovely to welcome you to RTV Marbella for once.
Thank you for having me, Nicole. Honestly, really a pleasure. And I'm delighted that I can get out from such a nice hotel and to speak with you about the hotel. And I think you know slightly more, and I really would like that the people from Marbella and around would know a bit more. It's only 3 years, the hotel, so it's lots of changes, lots of events grown. So yeah, thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. I've been to quite a few of your events as press to cover them, and you've done, they're really lovely. And I think what is perhaps something that people wouldn't expect is that it's a very boutique hotel feel when you're in the hotel. All the staff are really friendly. It's like everyone's friendly, and I think you have this view of a Fonda Heritage Hotel that's been more stuffy, and yet every single person that works here is down to earth, makes you feel welcome. So congratulations, particularly on that aspect.
Thank you. Absolutely. I think many people, when they come in from outside to inside, kind of sometimes shy or like expecting this is luxury, and to have this our cold answer to say no, you cannot get in, and opposite. We welcome everyone. We're doing tours. We even the staff from the reception to the hostess. Later, I'm always around to the events, and always very, very welcome place, first of all. And the second is we made it. We made it as a home with our smiles, I think. A lovely cup of tea or glass of champagne. So yeah, that's our aim actually, to make it everyone feel as a home.
I know that when I went to interview Agatha Ruiz de la Prada at the hotel, I mean, that for me was a very special moment, but I remember her sharing how much she enjoys the hotel because she feels it's a home away from home, which is very important when you travel a lot, but at the same time expecting that 5-star experience.
Exactly. Well, Agatha Ruiz de la Prada, it was a pleasure to have her in the house, charismatic experience, and to make event her presentation book. It was an honor. Honestly, I never did in Spain such a big one, and it was absolutely amazing. Well, you being here, you know, and all the people around. That's what we like with La Fonte, that people, not only like foreigners or just coming and to celebrate their birthdays or weddings, and also locals, just to know, to come to listen, to have afternoon tea or business, breakfast, meeting, corporate. So having Agatha and experiencing from staying with us in the room, having breakfast, having chat and present their book, it was absolutely wonderful. And it's one more tick on my list of what events I did around. So yeah, absolutely amazing.
You mentioned afternoon tea. Last week we had Debbie Wingham on the programme from Cookie Crumbs.
Oh, you did.
And that is the afternoon tea. You're also launched now at the hotel, so that's very special that you can do afternoon tea.
Absolutely, and working with Debbie, you know, it's easy. The lady is charismatic, and we made the special event absolutely amazing. Something slightly different as well, a bit more English afternoon tea, that the people would that afternoon would dress up, would enjoy their homemade scones in Marbella and La Fonte Hotel with a clotted cream also, and having experience even slightly, it was like a Bridgerton style, with lots of flowers, with lots of music, and absolutely this is one of the new that we are launching, and it's going to be daily, probably from the 1st of March. So it will be different time slots, and just to enjoy from couple until probably could be 30 guests. So yeah, that we're very, very happy to do one more event at La Fonte. Yeah.
I would imagine that weddings would be ideal at La Fonte because it's such a pretty setting, and you have so many different areas for photographs and to basically not have to leave anywhere for the reception, for the everything.
I think, and as I always, when it's very surprising when the people asking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did already, because I've been already 2 years at La Fonte, and starting there, we're trying to fill every corner with events to make it lively from the breakfast until night. And absolutely, we do weddings, and quite few. Of course, the wedding's not so big because our capacity probably until 60 guests. Even we do have only 22 bedrooms, but we do weddings even with a setup on the sky bar for the reception or welcome cocktail. Later coming down to the garden, all the or La Ermita, our actually germ. So absolutely amazing. We do many events, pre-weddings, post-weddings, christening parties. So it's like, even as I say, like from the corporate to social, every kind of event.
Everybody is welcome, and everybody is made to feel welcome, and that's what I love, because I love 5-star and I like luxury, but I don't like pompous. I don't like pretentious. I like it when you're getting all the luxury and all the things that you want that money can buy, but in a homely, natural atmosphere.
Absolutely, and I think that's our aim. That's why I took this project, because I used to live in Scotland. I used to work for the company that we did a massive concerts, weddings in the castles. So this time I wanted, and working here in Marbella already nearly 10 years and doing amazing beach weddings and everything. And I thought I would like something, a project or just where I could create. And that's what I liked. I liked quality, and just, how to say, it's like, you do not expect to move all the tables and to make a lovely dining area as a conference room or opposite side. So, you know, the way how we transform all the hotels, sometimes I surprise myself as like, oh wow, I just always say yes, and later on with a wonderful team, we just make it work. And plus having Cristina as operational as director, Carmine Sacco as a general director, it makes easy.
And Julia with the restaurant.
It's Julia with the restaurant, and as makes us so easy to exceed expectations of the clients, as you say, just to surprise everyone in such a beautiful 16th century hotel, and just to make something simple, cozy, homey, and still elegant and affordable as well.
I think you've really nailed it there, because it's the affordability for the value for money, and then every one of the 4 women or women that you mentioned, I mean, I know you have great men there as well.
Absolutely.
But the 4 women all of you that you've mentioned, you're all joyous.
Absolutely.
You're all happy people. You have that playful aspect, and I think that's why it's really made the difference at La Fonda, because you guys are playful and you want it to be playful and make it fun, not just chic.
I think even, especially living in Costa del Sol and or just around the world, it's like so intense works and everything. And I think La Fonda is, especially me working at events, I chose that career, I think, not deliberately, not thinking, but it was just to make people happy. Just because
success, you done it. Well done.
I'm still doing it, and I think that's that I can be in the same job, passion and adrenaline, absolutely. As probably even as you see me smiling and just joyful, greeting everyone when you arrive, and behind there is so much work, so much schedule timings. Sometimes you get overwhelmed, but you know, as I always say, you have just to concentrate one thing at a time, and just later results are great.
Well, you're doing beautifully, all of you are. Thank you for coming to join us and share the joys of La Fonda Heritage.
Thank you very much, and I hope to see you everyone there, and just to celebrate their birthday, weddings, post-weddings, pre-weddings, any celebration with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Zero Hero, welcome to Exotica. Zero Hero, welcome to Exotica.
Zero Heroes, welcome to Urban Chai.
What a pleasure to welcome Jessica to the programme. Apart from having become someone that I really enjoy bumping into, she's a very capable young lady, part of Synergia's group, Synergy Group, by the lovely Elena Olthina. So she's come to the programme from all different angles, but each of us takes us to a beautiful life in the sun, which is Jessica's mission, to help other people live a beautiful life in the sun like you're doing.
That's right, that's right. Thank you, Nicole, for having me here. I'm very excited.
I'm delighted to have you here to talk about something that you do for yourself that basically is really for others. I can see that you like helping other people, you enjoy talking to people, you enjoy listening to people, which is a rare talent, I think, nowadays.
Yes, yes.
Tell us a bit about yourself. First of all, where are you from originally? Let's start with the basics.
Yes, so I'm originally from Mexico, Mexico City. I was born and raised there until about 8 years old. We moved to the US, and that's where I grew up. And after I graduated from high school, I just had this urge to travel the world, like many of us do. And I never looked back. I've been away since then, traveling all over the world, and I lived in 7 different countries, and my home now here in Spain for the last 10 years.
Wow, you've already been in Spain for 10 years.
Yeah.
In this area, or have you moved around and come to Marbella?
It's been mostly Marbella and the Nueva Andalucía area, and now currently in Benavís.
Well, basically, you are a local. After 10 years, we say you belong. You've done your 10 years stint.
This feels like home for me, yes.
And Life in the Sun, basically, as I see it, is guiding people who want to move to Spain and hopefully save them all the issues that you went through when you got here yourself.
Exactly, exactly. Just through my life experience of living in different countries, I understand from my own experience what it's like to move to another country and the challenges you go through with the language, the culture, and I just thought, well, I've been through it. I know how to do it. Why not help those people who want to do the same and encourage them and motivate them?
So what did you see as when someone's watching the programme now and thinking, well, I'm actually here, but I haven't got a grip on what I'm doing or thinking of coming over, what would be the services, or how would you look out for them? What would be you could do for them?
Yes. Well, what I decided to do is create an agency that pretty much covers the whole aspect of moving to a new country. Starting with the mindfulness, of course, I believe that it all starts in our mind. And if we have a dream, we want to make sure that dream doesn't get shattered. So one of my things is I am a life coach, lifestyle coach, that I can guide you through those steps. So if either you're in a country where you want to come here first and you have that feeling but you're scared, so I do work even from the beginning, or those who are already here, I just try to help them through their mindsets, so make sure that dream doesn't turn into a nightmare, basically. And then moving on to that, I think the next most important thing is integrating and being part of your host country. You want to learn the language, so I've created my own Spanish program, and I have a cultural program as well that I do. And I just look for things that are quite unique to where I can get my clients to integrate with the culture. So my tours, I've been working very closely lately with some of the local villages and just different things to where we can get the people to really integrate with the local people.
I think it's one of the disadvantages, without a doubt, of foreigners who don't try and learn the language. Brits from back in 30, 40 years ago are the worst. Nowadays, it's curious to see that the youngsters and new families coming are actually taking on board that requirement to learn the language.
Right. I think it's quite easy in the area of Spain where we live not to learn the language because we're all international. This is one of the beautiful things about Marbella, is that you will bump into people from all over the world. So English is quite useful here. So people that try to learn Spanish, sometimes it's not so much that they don't want to, but it's almost
I hear that a lot.
You're not being forced.
That they try to practice and then they answer them in English. But at the same time, if a waiter's being paid to speak the language and they want to show that they can practice their English, it's a difficult one. I've heard quite a few people say that they don't get the opportunity to practice. However, if you want an opportunity to practice your Spanish, go to a Spanish bar, like go to a real Spanish bar where they will speak Spanish and you're going to everything's going to be in Spanish. But if you're going to like an international restaurant, even if the waiters are English, they are hired because they have the internationality. So
exactly.
it's a curious changeover, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think people find it difficult with the timing in Spain? I think that was one of the hardest thing for people to get their heads around, is things are slower and also more elongated. Lunches are longer and everything. It's just different timing than we're used to.
Absolutely. There's so many things about Spain and the culture that when you're coming from another country might seem a little bit odd, or you don't understand it, or you get frustrated because it's not how you're used to things. So that's another part that we cover within my program, that we need to understand where you are and why things are that way. I think here people really take their time to celebrate life and just to enjoy life. It's not the 8 to 5 like you would have in the US, and then you go home and that's it. Here, you want to live your life every day by enjoying like after work things and And if things take a little longer, it's okay, you know.
Exactly. I think we're just trained for these immediate answers and everything to be done yesterday. And even when we go out to eat, it's like the service. No, it's just relax.
That's right. That's right.
Because as far as I see, the further south you come, the slower it gets.
Yes. Yes.
Like in any country, no, it's
right. Another part I'd like to share about the company is I've mentioned, so we've got the mindset, we've got the language course, and we have the cultural integration course, this program. But we also focus a lot on using our networks. So with Sinergias, I'm so excited and so happy to be part of that group as part of one of their ambassadors. So I have direct contact to a beautiful network of over 200 entrepreneurs. We are all just so similar in our energy, really wanting to collaborate from the heart, and it's just so wonderful. So I'm incorporating that into Life in the Sun in the way that whatever my clients need, whether it's they're going to buy a new home or where to go to school, what doctor to go to, simple things that you need when you first move here. And with Sinergias, my network is amazing. We've got pretty much an answer for anything my client might need. So that's another very strong part where I want to be that one point of contact that when you come here, you have doubts or you don't know how to move, one phone call. You just got to call Jessica, here I am, and I'll be able to put you in the right direction with my network.
Well, delighted for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the programme to share all this exciting information, because without a doubt, if you're moving to a foreign area, you need to know especially Marbella, you have areas that are all Swedish.
Right, right.
And if you're English and you don't want to be just sitting in little Sweden, you need to know which area you're moving to.
That's right.
Schools, everything. It really makes sense to connect with somebody who knows what they're doing and they've done it before.
That's right.
Jessica, thank you. May you continue to enjoy your Life in the Sun.
Thank you.
.es. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
In my experience, Lilia Director is superb when it comes to insurance, particularly for expats. I have met the dedicated English-speaking team that answers our phone calls. Real people with real families who take pride in providing the best service. Whether it's for home insurance, car, motorbike, they will ensure you get the policy best suited to you. They've also got new policies, especially for our pets and anti-squatter. Everything is in English, everyone is friendly, and everyone is truly doing their best for us. Call 952 14 78 34 or go to their website liniadirector.com for further details. We now have a lovely person joining us. I've never met her before. Her name is Lilia, and she comes through Marie Noel Communications. The company is Facial Team, and this is something I've never talked about before on television. It's gender affirming health. Is that correct, Lilia?
Correct.
I've never even said that before. I have gender affirming health. It sounds like something that is very important, and I should know more about it. So welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And can you explain what it is that Facial Team actually does?
Of course, yeah. Facial Team is a multidisciplinary surgical group that works in only one very small area of gender affirming healthcare. So there's lots of different areas, from surgery, hormones, mental health, social integration, etc. So we're just working in the area of surgery, specifically facial surgery from the neck up.
Okay, so for those who maybe aren't as understanding of the topic, and I don't want to be misspoken, but when you say gender affirming, are we referring to if someone feels that they're in the wrong body type thing, and that if I realised that I'm a man inside, trapped in a horrible woman's body, you would then help the process of changing the features to suit the outside that's on the inside?
Precisely. It's about gender identity. So it's about the gender that you feel most comfortable with, which may or may not be in congruence with your physical body. So there are some older terms that people use, but nowadays we say gender affirming healthcare for services which help people who need to align their gender identity, be that male, female, two-spirit, gender fluid. There are many different gender identities. And so these kinds of services help people align their identity with their physical body. Now, we don't want to confuse gender identity with sexual orientation. It's completely different. There's two different...
Can you explain?
Sure.
I'm lost.
So gender identity, for example, I myself consider myself to be a non-binary female, a non-binary woman. So I present often and most of the time as feminine, but I do not actually feel that I am necessarily in one box or the other box, okay? So I don't agree with that, the fact that we have to choose one gender identity, even though that's the status quo in society. So it's hard to get your head around, but...
yeah, I think it's one of those things, you have to be there to understand it. I mean, I really do believe this. I mean, nobody goes out of their way to just to be different.
No.
Well, that's not true. I do remember as a child, I went through a phase of wanting, my middle name is Geraldine, I wanted everyone to call me Gerald, and I wanted to be a boy. I loved being a boy, and I was mad in love with Georgina, who was a character in the famous Five from Enid Blyton. But it was a phase, in the sense it was just a phase, and there was certain... Which worries me nowadays, because you could be 13, 12 nowadays and in America and being whipped off for God knows what. But it's very difficult to my cousin, who lives in Canada, who was without a doubt trapped in the wrong body. So as I say, it's very different than me at 13. I wanted to be a boy, it was cool, till I grew out of it, than my poor cousin who grew up as a boy, but was certainly much happier now that he's Chelsea. And I just see, it's like having, I don't know whether you could be, everybody's born differently. We don't know what's on the inside.
And there's scientific evidence which backs, the theory that there is a moment in the gestation where something happens, hormones are given off, and they're supposed to align the brain gender with the physical gender, and that doesn't always happen. So we know that intersex people, for example, are people who may or may not have defined sexual organs. So that is also something completely different. Intersex people could be transgender as well. But it's a lot more complex and diverse than people generally think.
So you were explaining the difference between one thing and the other. Let's go back to that. So
sure.
I want to finish this being a lot more informed.
You said that I feel like being trapped in the wrong body. That is exactly what a lot of trans people say, and they know from a very young age, like 3 or 4 years of age, and it's not something that goes away. And if they are unable to make this happen, which historically speaking, most people kept it hidden, it can cause a lot of mental distress, but it's not a sickness. It's not some kind of problem. No, it's just
nature.
Who they are.
It's nature.
It's part
I agree.
of human diversity. Trans people exist, and they have always existed since the beginning of time.
I agree. Yeah. It is. It's one of those things. It is natural. And this is one of the things that I understood a long time ago. It is natural. And if you are in the wrong position, it's nice to know that the things can help. So who would come to Facial Team? At what stage, what point? What do you offer that the people out there that particularly know someone or are interested for themselves?
Well, the Facial Team was founded 18 years ago, so that's changed a lot over the course of this time. And we started in Marbella in 2010.
Oh, really?
Okay, yes. Yeah.
My God, how come I haven't heard of you? It's like 16 years have gone by.
Well, probably because you're not looking for gender-affirming help.
Possibly.
So yeah, most of our patients come from abroad. A huge percentage are from the UK, and also North America, Scandinavia, other European countries, and also Australia. So the people that come to see us are trans women, or women who were assigned male at birth.
Okay.
They can also be referred to this way. Also, like I mentioned before, non-binary people who identify with a more feminine side of themselves, and they want their facial features to be more feminine.
So it's like cosmetic surgery, but specializing? No. Okay.
We don't use the word cosmetic surgery because it causes confusion. It makes it sound like it's an elective surgery, that something that they just do, for to be more beautiful, and it's not that at all. It is an essential functional surgery.
Gender aligning?
Yes. And actually here in Spain, it's categorized as maxillofacial surgery. So it's categorized as medically essential, necessary, and that means that VAT tax is not applied to what we call FFS also, facial feminization surgery, except for the rhinoplasty. That's the only procedure that we have to apply a sales tax to.
So it's another whole world.
It's a whole world, yes.
It's another whole world. So what are your installations like? Where are you based? Who's part of it?
Yeah.
What do you do?
We started out working in what was then the USP hospital, now the Quirón hospital. But then we moved to the HC hospital, HC International Hospital in Puerto Banús, Nueva Andalucía here. So we've always been in Marbella, our home base, and we do have satellite centers in Brazil now, and Barcelona, and a fellow in Toronto in Canada. But most recently, the big news is that over the last 15 years, we've been listening to our patients carefully and wanting to always improve and care for them even better. So one of the, we would say, a weak point in the whole circle of care was the fact that patients had to leave our supervision and go into a hotel locally for the time that they had to stay, which is about 2 to 3 weeks. They have to stay here. They come from abroad normally. So that now has changed. So that's why we wanted to let
brag.
People know. We want to brag. The doctors bought a piece of land in Cancelada, just near the border of Estepona, and from the ground up have built what is basically like a cathedral dedicated to the trans community.
Oh my God.
Especially for our patients. Yeah.
That is lovely.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's lovely.
And I get to work there, so.
And where were you from originally?
I'm from the US, from Maine.
And what brought you from Maine to Marbs?
Love. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Yes, well, have a lovely Valentine's Day tomorrow. I would love to come and visit your centre and know more about this, because it's very rare we actually get to touch on a topic that know absolutely nothing about. And I'm just kind of getting a grip on it, but it is fabulous work that you do. I'm really, really delighted that there are places, there's someone for everyone. And as I say, having had my cousin go through this, I really can relate to how necessary this is.
And we should be proud here, the people from Marbella, because facial team started this as a small little seed. There were only 5 of us working in facial team, and over the last 15 years we've built what is now world renowned. So facial team really is one of the leaders in this specific kind of surgery, and people come from all over the planet.
Well, in that one, I'm going to high-five you.
Yeah, and I have a present for you, because I saw you had the progressive LGBTQ pride flag in your offices.
Thank you. We're all very progressive. So I would say the most important thing for people is to be people. And just to see the person. It's the most important thing. Except you feeling you don't see yourself right, and then the next important thing is facial team to make sure that everything aligns. Lilia, I've got goosebumps.
Oh,
thank you very much. Really,
thank you.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure to be here. Thanks, Nicole.
Lovely. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing weekend. You can go to the rtvmarbella.tv website, where you can get links to watch the programmes again and again at your leisure. And we thank you for being with us. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and I'll see you again next week for more what's going on in Marbella now. Bye for now. Bye.